I am Bedu Teresa Kwachiwa, and I'm the interviewer today. We want to hear from Mrs. Ado what has really made her who she is today. Listening to her profile has really inspired a lot of people, even though we've not heard from her. You study political science, and now you are into law. You are a bilingual that you study English and French and all that. So why didn't you actually focus on languages and all of a sudden you decided to shift from that career into law? What inspired that?
Okay, thank you. So I wouldn't call it a shift, but I call it a work in progress. I call it a work in progress because I want to be a diplomat. It's always been my dream to study a lot of languages, work in international organizations, work in probably the foreign affairs and all of that as a young girl. And then I also thought of doing law. So looking at these two careers or professions that I want to do, how do I get there? So I looked deep down and then I told myself, if I want to study languages, we are bordered by Francophone countries to the north, to the east, to the west. And so I chose French. And then I decided to do political science because it cuts across what I want to do. If you look at the law, if you go deep down, you realize that there are lots of politicians who are lawyers. So it is very easy to be able to meander your way through if you do political science to easily transfer yourself to do the law. And that is why I chose to study French and political science in the first.
I guess I'm so happy already because I'm also aspiring to become a diplomat one day. All right. So as an experienced career woman who is a mother of four, we want to know how are you able to combine your profession and your mother duty? How are you doing it? How is it possible and making it easy for you and all that?
Okay, thank you. So I must say it's not easy, okay? But with God, everything becomes easy. So first and foremost, God has been very gracious and He's helped me through it all. Secondly, I have a very supportive husband. And yes, and he's Gideon Osei Ado. And without him, I couldn't have done all the things you have heard me do. So what we do is we come together as husband and wife and we plan. So he meeting me, he already knew the things I do. Mr. Conrad will testify. In school, I was already doing a lot of things, juggling church activities with ISEC, my academics, and a whole lot already. So he knows me, he knows the things I do. And so he sat me down and said, yes, I know what you really love to do. So what we have to do is anytime you want to do something, just prompt me ahead of time. So if you're supposed to go to work before you drop the kid, let me know if you have to go earlier so that I call the office and then I rather go late. So whenever I'm supposed to go earlier, he would rather stay back and drop the kids whilst I go. And then when he is also gone earlier, I drop the kids. So it is all planning. In all things I want to do, I just need to inform him ahead of time, and then he would help me to achieve it. All I'm saying is that it's not rosy. It's not easy. Having four kids and then doing all that I do is very tough. Sometimes you break down, but then in it all, you have to do a lot of reading. You have to know when to pause, when to say no. You don't juggle everything together at the same time, but then you apportion time. So time management is also very important.
All right. Thank you so much. But per what you just said, we just want to take it in our normal or daily routine we have been having. Especially we as students, most of us are students here. We are in tertiary and we are thinking of we completing school, getting better job before we go into let's say relationship that will lead to marriage and all that. What what would you tell us? Should we actually focus on what we intend to do, focusing on our academics, achieving whatever we want to achieve, or you think we could actually be achieving all this alongside being a married individual? What's that role?
Okay. So you need to have a goal in life. You need to know what you want to achieve in life. So you ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? So you tell yourself 2 years from today, this is what I want to achieve. 5 years from today. So I've written all these things down, how I want to see myself 5 years from now, 10 years ago, how I wanted to see myself and all of that. From time to time, you visit it to see if you are achieving it. So for some of us, you see me very young and I have 4 kids, and you ask, when did I start? So I told myself right after school, I want to be married. I want to get married and I want to start. So it was part of my plan. I told myself I wanted to have 2 kids. God had his own plans and blessed me with another 2. And so I had to accept it. So everything is planning. So as you are in school, but the most important thing is your books. So you are in school. If you look at yourself, you carry yourself, and you can combine family and academics, fair enough. But ideally, concentrate on the books whilst you are in school. Whilst in school, it's not just about books, but you need to do other things that would build your skills up. So if there are any form of clubs or associations or any form of how do you call it, teams or groups that would help to build your capacity, not just academically, it's very important to be part of those groups. Personally, those things helped me in time management and planning. Because in school, I didn't just do academics. Even though I didn't do serious marriage while in school at that time, I did it after my first degree. So after first degree, after national service, I got married. I had my kids. Then I went back to school. So while in school, I was still doing kids in school. So it was very tough. It's not easy.
Mrs. Ado, so we want to know how has your bilingual ability has impacted or had a positive impact on your career that you are in right now?
OK. So, s'il vous plaît, il y a des personnes ici qui parlent français. Allô? Ah, d'accord. Merci. So, I just asked if there are persons here who speak French.
I think most of them can speak. Yes,
And so that's great. So I love to learn languages. Okay. So it's in my current role as an executive secretary of Desert Lion International. I don't use it much. The only times I have used it is when my boss was traveling to Cote d'Ivoire and actually needed me to do translations, or when a customer wants to buy something and comes from Cote d'Ivoire or Togo, and then I am called to do it. But I still use it in my own small ways, in my networks and everything. But in my current portfolio, I hardly use my language, my second language.
I see. Then I'll come to you so you teach me how to speak French.
No problem at all.
All right. Mrs. Ado, could you share some insights on your role as the Executive Secretary of the Desert Lion International Company Limited?
Okay. Thank you. So as the Executive Secretary of Desert Lion International, it's not been easy. It's been tough because right after national service, I managed to apply for this role and got it, and then started. And it wasn't easy coming right from national service and having this big portfolio of having to deal with corporate clients, having to deal with the corporate governance structure, management, board. It was a bit tough. But then I had to put myself to work to learn very fast, to be able to adjust to things and then manage it till now. And up till now, about 12 years on, I think I'm still doing it.
All right. So, as you have the title as a young achiever, per the profile that I just cited, I'm really inspired. But what I really want you to share with us has to do with the fact that as an individual coming up, if you are being persistent or you are persevering to achieve something, there are a lot of hindrances that you may face. Can you share one real life experience that you had that was so tough, and how were you able to maneuver your ways to find remedies to them?
Okay. So let me say life is not without challenges. Life is tough. In every capacity you are in, you face challenges. So in my role as executive secretary of the company, and I also double as the head of the Accra branch. So I'm in charge of the staff. At the same time, I liaise with management. I am on the board and all of that. Sometimes it becomes overwhelming. It becomes very overwhelming. You may have certain deadlines you have to meet, especially when it has to do with compliance with regulatory bodies and everything. Sometimes if you don't take care, any form of penalties that may come up, your company has to pay. It may be deducted from your salary, and it gets very tough. So you have to always be up and going.
So, let's dive into the world of law and all that. You being a convener for the Ghana School of Law, is there any challenges or some things that you figured out a lot of law students in Ghana here are facing? Because most of the individuals that are here are aspiring to become like lawyers in one of their days to come or in the nearby future. And how do you intend to find remedies to all these loopholes that you found when you had an interaction with these law students in Ghana here and all that?
Okay, thank you. So reading the law, as we all know or have all heard, is not an easy one. I always begin by saying it's not easy. But one major problem law students face in reading the law is one, financial issues, because it's quite expensive. Law is expensive, the school fees, the books you have to buy, and all of that. It's not easy. So that is one major challenge that students of law face. The second thing we say in terms of our law in the Ghana School of Law, to be specific, is dissemination of information. So it's like a soldier training or a battlefield kind of that we are in. So you hardly get information on when something is going to happen. It means you need to be ready every day, every minute, every time. You need to study ahead of time, exams. Everything is just overwhelming and a little bit burdensome. But how do we go through these challenges? What we do in the law school we believe in is that you can't do it without God. So one thing you need in the law school is God. We believe that it is not, you can't go through with your physical eyes. You need God to take you through. And then you also need to be very apt. You need to study, you need to read a lot. You need to dedicate. Sometimes you have to bury yourself from the whole world. Nobody gets to see you, and then you are just on your own. It's just for a period of time, just to achieve what you want to achieve. Yes.
I'm an individual. I see. So is there anything that you think as an individual that you shouldn't have done, shouldn't have engaged in earlier? Is there something that you think if you should get an opportunity, like as you have gotten an opportunity like this, meeting young individuals and all that, what's that one thing that you think it would be advisable you give so individuals don't also do same?
Okay. So one thing that I have realized is that you shouldn't rely on your own strength. That is one thing that a lot of students do a lot. So let me just give you this story of myself.
Share it with us.
Okay, so LLB, I did LLB in 2012. I finished in 2015. So after 2015, I wrote the entrance exam and I passed. So after passing, you have to subject yourself to an interview. Okay, so at that time, I had given birth to my second boy, and he was a week old when I was invited for the interview. And then I went, only 250 people were supposed to be selected out of about 300 of us that passed. So we went for the interview. Later, the final list came, and I didn't see my name.
Are you an organization seeking to be known globally for quality service delivery? Do you hope to stay competitive in your industry? Embrace ISO 45001, ISO 9001, and ISO 14001 management systems with Go Compliance Solutions. At Go Compliance Solutions, we offer comprehensive HSE training and awareness, health screening campaigns for organizations, and compliance inspections with ISO system audits. Our experts help implement robust safety environment and quality systems tailored for your business needs. Achieve ISO 45001, ISO 14001, and ISO 9001 certifications with ease. Experience the digitization of administrative processes and thorough project risk assessment. Partner with Go Compliance Solutions and achieve operational excellence. Contact us today on 0249 261 175 or 0558 184 414. You can also call us on 0246 544 531. We are located at Afienya Mataiko Highway, adjacent Hot Oven Factory. Visit our website at gocomplianceghana.com. Go Compliance Solutions, guiding you to success.
I was very depressed. I was very hurt. I was very down. A lot of people called me and told me, "Oh, Irene, you are smart. You know, you should kind of just go ahead and get things, just go and see the school or something, do something," and all of that. So it got to a point I was going up and down, thinking with my own strength, I could probably do what, get my way through. But at the end of the day, we didn't. We put a petition, we did a lot of things. It didn't yield fruit. It rather yielded fruit for the next batch to cancel the interview so that after you pass the exam, you can go straight to the law school. So that's what happened. Then a year after I took the exam, I thought, oh, once I passed the first one so easily, the second one, I'll just sit and I'll pass. So I didn't really study a lot. I prided in myself as my that kind of thing. And then, yes. And then I took the exam the second time. And 500 students who passed were taken at once. And the list came and my name was not in. And it was heartbreaking. I broke down and I told myself, I won't do the law again. Yes, I told myself, Mumfamo law, I won't do it again. Because I just can't believe I'm not part that 500, even 250, 300 people. I was part of those who passed. So this is what happened. I was in my room crying, depressed. I got one of my seniors to call me and tell me, this is not a physical fight. You should know better. You're a child of God. Pray to God. Carry yourself. Go and do masters. And then put yourself up together again. So that's basically what I did. So many years on, I had more children, so I put the law aside. And in 2023, I attempted again, this time with God. I prayed to God. I relied on God. I wrote the exam and straight I entered into the school. So do not rely on your strength. Don't think you are too smart. Don't think you are too knowledgeable. Rely on God for everything, and then you make it in life.
What I've heard about ISEC from various campuses, especially they are doing so well in University of Cape Coast and all that. Per your profile that we had, we've seen that you are part of the board of ISEC for Legon. What are some of the impacts that when you joined the board has actually had on the young individuals and all that? And what's ISEC all about? How do individuals get the chance to be part of them and all that?
Okay, so ISEC, it's an acronym. Previously, which used to mean Association Internationale des Étudiants Sciences et Économie Commerciale. Sorry. So
What language is that?
that's French. So that was the meaning, an association for international students who are into science, economic, and commerce. But eventually things evolved, and then ISEC became ISEC. Now, ISEC focuses more on developing young people like you and I to equip us with skills that we wouldn't basically get while we are in school. So in ISEC, we run various projects. We are given a task and then you do it on your own. So you have a team, you have team leaders, you have people who are in charge of maybe learning team, they are in charge of promotions, you have to go and raise funds and then execute a project. So there are lots of projects, HIV/AIDS, entrepreneurship, and all of that. I was actually project director for HIV/AIDS project. I had to get peers, educate the young people from PRESEC, University Basic School, West African Secondary School, and then University Practice School. These four schools I had to train about 2,000 pupils in HIV/AIDS to train them to understand what, at that time, it was very prevalent. So what is HIV/AIDS? What is it all about? What can we do about it? How do we avoid getting in there? So you educate them, and then you get, let's say you start with about 100 students, then you give them that peer education to go back and then also educate their peers. So it was like a factor tree in order to attain the 2,000. That's what we did in collaboration with Standard Chartered Bank at that time. And then the project became the best project, and I got the best project director for the year. It was actually very amazing.
At least let's clap for her. She has done
It was amazing. So whilst I finished ISEC, I think a year after I did everything ISEC, I rose to become the National Talent Management Yes, and people development vice president for ISEC in Ghana. And so when I finished national service with that portfolio, I was invited by ISEC in Legon to be on their board so that I can help them to tap into their wealth of experience. So when they're having projects or programs, if they're trying to interview new students to come aboard, I am invited. If they have any challenges, they invite you to come and give talks like what we're having now to motivate the students in there that it is possible and you can do it. Yes, please.
Hi. All right, Mrs. Sado. Let's talk about some misconceptions that individuals in our nation or country have. When when you want to do something, there are a lot of things that comes up. That has to do. Oh, she's a female. Oh, she's too young. Oh, the background that the individual is coming from is not all that. The person is not from affluence and all that. As an individual that you were coming up, as a young lady that you've achieved a lot, did you ever sit to think of it that no, I'm a female, so why should I go to law school? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? Was your age a barrier? Did you have any encounter that really discouraged you per your gender that you belong to, or the age or the range of age that you were related to and all that?
Okay, to the glory of God, I want to say never. Nothing stops me from achieving what I want for.
But were there any additions or were there any protests against you coming up and all that?
So there are no allegations, there are no protests. But you see, there's that misconception out there sometimes for women. And for women here, I just want to encourage you. The affirmative action law has been passed. You should take a glance at it and see that more women should be empowered. Never feel less of yourself that you're a woman. What makes you different? You are not different. You have your special, unique qualities that God has given to you. God has given special, unique qualities to men. There are certain things that men can do we cannot do biologically and other ways. There are certain things women can do that we cannot do. Don't strive to do what a man wants to do. I don't believe in that assertion, but I believe that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And so anytime you think of picking up a role, anytime you think of doing something, don't be deterred. Don't think there are 5 men contesting for SRC presidents. Let me use you. And so maybe I'm the only female. I don't know your situation, what actually came up, but I'm glad we have a female SRC president. I think it's amazing. Yes, it's amazing, Kakwa, because there are lots of women who have this fear, inner fear. They want to do it, but they are scared to put themselves out. Just put yourself out. If you do it and then you fail at it, that's not the end of the world. Rise up and go for something bigger. And that's what I've always believed in. And to the glory of God, it will amaze you that you have a lot of potential. You have a lot to give to society. If you sit on it, maybe one day God will ask you why you didn't go out of your shell.
How does your Christian faith influence your career choices and your leadership style that you have been using in your various organizations?
Okay. So I am a member of the Church of Christ, a proud one too, and I was born into the church. And so these Christian principles have been indoctrinated in me, and there are so many things I believe in. So integrity, humility, loyalty. I don't want to say it for myself, but everybody around me can attest to that fact that I am very loyal. When I'm doing something, I do it with all my heart, and I believe in doing it well. Okay. So in terms of leadership and everything, I put all these things to bear. So life, if you live with the book of the Bible, I use it as my guide. Whenever I'm stuck, I just sit down and pray and ask God for guide so that He will take me through. If you don't have, maybe somebody will say, why is he talking about God? But that is the truth, my brothers and my sisters sitting here. Look, you can do everything on your own strength. You will go and rise, but one day you realize that you are stuck. Okay? But then if you have a solid rock that you lean on, you go, you have a chat with God. It's like a normal thing. How do I maneuver through this? Sometimes it baffles my mind, setting things out I have to do. And then I just pray to God. And then before you realize there's an easy way out and you didn't avert your mind to, it becomes very easy. So your principles in life, you should stick to them, principles. If you're here and you don't have principles, you go with the masses. Be a family. It doesn't fly. If you're a Christian, stand out. Wherever I go, some of my friends call me Sofumami and all of that. I am proud of it. I wouldn't shy from it. That is me. And so wherever I go, I'm even compelled to do what is right because there's a tag already on me as a Christian. And so the values I uphold, to I've already mentioned them, integrity, loyalty, humility, I carry it along everywhere I go. And it helps me.
I'm just going through your profile again. With your experience in microcredit through DL Microcredit Company Limited, what role do you think microfinance plays in empowering community, especially you, women and young entrepreneurs coming up?
Okay. So DL Microcredit is an affiliate to Desert Line International Company Limited. One thing I see microcredits offering to young people here is that microcredit actually is an entity that gives out loans. So microcredit is not a savings and loans. It's quite different from the savings and loans. So you don't save with them, but they give to you. What we do is you look out for people who have various needs. Sometimes market women, sometimes students who have a challenge in maybe some financial challenge or something of that sort. So all you have to do is to be able to give some form of commitment for assurance that you'll be able to pay out the loan at the end of the day, do what you're supposed to do. When you are asked for, today we have the Ghana card system, so it's not very difficult to guarantee loans for people. So when you come, we'll just check your background, just do a little background check, and then we'll offer you an amount of money, even though the amount of money is not much, because we have a limit as to what we can give for microcredit as compared to savings and loans or main bank. Yes. What we do for students or what we do for young people is that if you have any business idea, if you have any business proposal, if you have anything that you want to turn out, especially ours is related to farming industry. So DL Microcredit is specific with farming. So if you want to do anything farming through the agro business chain, you just come in, you bring your proposal, we look at it, and then if you merit getting that loan, we give it to you. We give you a period to save, and then we pay off.
So let's take into consideration a situation whereby I'm a student and I want to come for a loan to start up a business. So here at Heritage Christian University College, I just want to tell you something that makes us stand out, okay? So if you are an individual that you have a business idea, the Center for Entrepreneurship, Philanthropy and Ethics gives you the chance to pitch your business idea. And if you are able to come out as one of the best, you could actually stand to win about 100,000 Ghana cedis to start your own business. So let's take, for instance, I was part of those people, but unfortunately, I couldn't qualify to get such an opportunity or offer. In what way is the DL microfinance going to come into supporting as a student?
Okay. So DL microcredit, that's our thing. For now, we do not actually do student loans for now. What we do is we are tailored made for the agro industry. So we look more to farmers, to market women, to yes, people of that. So we do not have any product currently for students. But then I know in the microcredit industry, there are a lot of microcredits who have packages for students. You have business ideas. You want this business idea, you want to start. And the major problem with all startups is capital. Okay. So if you get to some of these microcredits, they can actually assist you. And all you would need is a proposal, which I know Heritage Christian University does very well at, like you're saying. So you need to get a very good proposal, you present it, and you need to just give that assurance that you'll be able to, pay at the end of it. That's all.
This is Ado. I want to know this. So looking forward, what are some of the things that you intend to achieve professionally and personally? And as we all know you to be a young achiever, if a time is to come where you are nowhere to be found or seen, as some of the things that you should be noted for, what do you intend to leave as a legacy?
Okay, great. So one thing that I think didn't come into my profile or was not spoken about is the fact that I have a master's in ADR and I'm a ADR practitioner, a qualified ADR practitioner. So I do mediation, arbitrations, I do negotiations and all of that. Basically, what I want to achieve in the next 5 years is to be able to pitch my own ADR center or my own law firm where I could help people or the vulnerable be able to resolve certain pertinent issues or basic issues that they have. I want to be able to contribute to society such that when you hear of places such as legal aid, they are there for the vulnerable, but they are overwhelmed with the numbers. So can we get private individuals who also set up some form of firms or entities or centers that would help the vulnerable in the society to be able to access all these form of legal and you understand all those form of support. So that is what I want to set myself out to do in the next 5 years. Okay. I'm looking at myself between the next 5 to 10 years to become the diplomat that I want to be. I have still not killed it. I want to be a diplomat and I believe by the grace of God, I sure will.
Amen. All right, so I have this question that I want to ask you. We've had a lot of people in the auditorium right now listening to the inspiration that you are giving to us. What is that particular thing that every podium or every opportunity that you get, you serve as an advice or you give as an advice to individuals that they are there to listen to you? I think we all want to hear it. Those we want to hear it, so kindly give it to us.
So what I would tell the young people is sometimes when you are growing up, you get very comfortable. Sometimes you see adults as people who are not in your league. Right now you hear we are Gen Z, we are this. And so you think they do not have anything to offer you. But let me tell you something. Always try and get that mother figure, that father figure in your life, that mentor, that person who always share in your dreams, that person who always encourage you to be the best of yourself. That person, when you're down, can easily give you some words of encouragement and uplift you. You need such a person in your life if you don't have it as of now. Sometimes when people hear mentor, they think it is who is my mentor? My mentor can be maybe somebody who just has a little bit of experience more than you do have. I won't talk about age wise, but then you need somebody who has the wealth of experience to guide you, to lead you, to encourage you, and to motivate you to achieve what you want to achieve. Because I believe you all sitting here are great people. You all sitting here are amazing, but you have no idea how amazing you are unless you set out and get somebody to guide you through it. Don't rely just on yourself. Get a mentor and never do it alone. Get God as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, let's clap for him. All right, so I'll come to you, but then I think for now, individuals have listened to whatever you have to give us. A lot of us are being inspired. A lot of us are holding on to have a personal conversation with you about certain questions and all that. But we would like to open up the space for you to ask. Maybe you have a question that you want to ask Mrs. Ado, or there are some things that you think, no, you wanted her to talk about it, but unfortunately, she has not made mention of it or anything. So if you have a question, you can just go ahead and ask. I just want three people to ask their question.
Hi, Mr. Ray. Good morning. So, question. I've seen that from your bio, you've been able to juggle a lot of, prospects, you juggle a lot of activities. You've gone here, you've done this, you've done that in the span of, say, 5 to 10 years. Would you say that you have found your purpose in life? And if so, can you share some nuggets on how you were able to identify? Because most of us, we are trying to do a lot of things, trying to find that this particular thing works for me. In your case, you've been able to do a lot of things and you are still striving to do more. So in that, area, would you say you found your particular purpose and how did you achieve that?
Okay. Okay, thank you. So if you ask me if I have found my purpose in life, yes, my purpose here in life is to be able to, one, serve God, and two, to be able to support the vulnerable and the needy in society. That's how I see my purpose in life as being couched. And how do I achieve it, or how have I achieved it? So with everything that I do, I always look at the opportunity of how I can also give back to society. So looking at what I was doing in terms of the HIV/AIDS project, in terms of all those things, I still do projects. I'm currently the director of communications for the Center for Inclusion and Governance. And what we actually do is that we are a women group who are legal women. We are all like lawyers, okay? And then we are trying to give back to society. We are trying to support women, support people who are vulnerable, not just women, but then everybody who needs our form of support, okay, to be able to reach or aspire to get to where they want to do. We also look at governance and political issues as well. But mainly, like students and youth, like today, there are people who have a challenge on career guidance. Sometimes when you're selecting your choice of courses on what you want to do, if you don't get anybody to guide you, you can make a mistake. So in chess, for instance, what I set myself to do is to get the young people who are going to SS. Immediately you write BC, I call you, I ask you, what do you want to do? What do you want to do in life? How do you want to achieve it? And then I try to tailor your mind. Sometimes I even get parents involved. Don't you think if she does this, it's better? Don't you think? So in my own little way, I try to give that form of support and advice to get the youth of today or people to also find their feet and find their purpose in life.
Okay. A follow up. So you stated that the Gathering Enterprise is a combination of you and your husband, correct? So one of the things that this university is encouraging so much is partnerships in starting up a business. Would you say that you partnering with your husband has been of great beneficial to you and the enterprise, or you think that you could have done it better on your own?
Thank you. So I believe that there's strength in partnership. There is strength in numbers. I already said that in everything you do, don't rely on yourself. You are good, yes, you are good to go. But you see, when you pick a broomstick, this time you have brushes. So maybe you've not seen I'm talking about the broom that is gotten from the palm front. When you pick one, it's easily to break. But then when you have it together, a lot of them, and you break, it's quite difficult to achieve. When you are together, the things you achieve, it's more than when you're alone. Partnership has helped me grow my business a lot because my husband is into finance and customer service. And then I am into another field. And so he sets to look at my book. He looks at a lot of things. He tells me, why don't you do this way? Why don't you do that way? Okay. So even though it's a sole proprietorship, it's a registered business in just my name. But the name, we did it together because behind every successful woman, there is a more successful man. Okay. Yeah.
I want to find out from you, throughout your professional life so far, what is that moment that you got to a point that you said, with the saying, okay, I'll do something negative. Have you got to that point before? And then the next one is everything that you are doing. Do you have any connection with your background? I mean, your upbringing. Has your upbringing has anything to do with the kind of areas you find yourself in at the moment?
Okay, thank you. So with the first question, what you're saying, through my professional life, has it gotten to a stage that you ask yourself, saying, yes, it's come a couple of times. Okay, sometimes you get to that stage where you have to take certain decisions and you realize that if not for the God in you, you may take a wrong decision. You may toe a path that you're not supposed to toe. You may follow the crowd, if I want to use that. You miss it a lot in school, a lot of times it will come up in your work ethics. Sometimes you have to, massage figures, you have to document some things and all those things. But then if you know where you're coming from, let me link it to your next question, your background. You know where you're coming from. You've made yourself, everybody know that you don't stand for certain things. Somebody will come to the shop, somebody wants an invoice, they want you to inflate the figures. But then they know you, madam, will never agree to it. And so it won't be done. And they know when I'm there, it won't happen. You understand? So you have to stand for your values. I was brought up, I told you, from a Christian home. And that has guided me in everything I do. And I believe that is what has led me to all the things I've been able to achieve in life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Irene Ado. Having you here today at Heritage Christian University College has been a blessing to everyone here, truth be told. I know every word that came from your mouth has really encouraged most of us here. And from now going, we are not going to look down upon ourselves. We are not going to settle for less. We are going for what we really believe in. Because you have taught us today that no matter your age or the background or whatsoever, if you set your mind on something and work towards it, you will be able to achieve it. But before you leave us, what's the last word that you want to give each and every individual here? You want some breakfast for tomorrow morning. So can you kindly share something with us?
Okay, so the last words I'll leave with you is that never look down on yourself. Never ever look down on yourself. If you are in the company of people who look down on you or who make you feel less than yourself, please leave that company. You don't belong there because you are great. God created you great. You're supposed to be very great. And so never ever look down on yourself. Tell yourself, I am an achiever, I can achieve, and I will achieve. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you so much. Please, let's give her a round of applause as she leaves stage for us.